TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Memories of your match at Hell in a Cell, and how concerned were you about the cage giving out?
I was very concerned. To this day, I got a bad lower disc in my back from that fall going backwards. I was kind of disappointed that I did do it because of the simple fact that I realized that that really could end my life. When they first, how they always come up with you walk through. They call it a walk through. Let's walk through our matches. Well, when they first came out with the truck, it had no railings on the side of the truck. It was just a flat bed.
Right.
But it was a wide, big flat bed. And there's no way I can miss that. And we tried it the first time in Atlanta. Everything was fine. But during the show, when they came out the truck, they came out a smaller truck, and it had rails on it. And that kind of knocked, I was scared. At the same time, they say the show must go on. It was one of those things that, at the last minute, I kind of decided, okay, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I told Taker, you tell my family I love them. If you can watch the video, you'll see there's a small pause there for a second, and you'll see me tell that was my last words to him, because he was kind of like, oh shit, this is a different truck. We all work together, but we all care for each other. Especially when you're in a match working together, nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. And that's what basically happened, man. Is when he threw me off, my last words I told him, tell my family I love them. It threw me off, and thank God I landed in the right position. But the foam wasn't as thick as it was. It had hay and stuff underneath there. My back went, for a shoot, hit the back flatbed, and you could see the whole truck went down to the shocks. And you don't feel it that night. When you leave, you'll feel it after, and it's kind of bothered me till then now. So, and you learn. I got played. I was the one that took the big bump of that match, that big so-called match. And looking around at all the players that were in that match, and I'm pretty sure that I'm probably the one that took the less cheese, or got paid the less cheese. You follow me?
Right, totally.
Taking the big bump again. So it's just things like this that happen to me. Everything happens for a reason, because I got boys now that are coming into the business. It's exclusive now. And these cats here look just like Rock. They work like him. They handsome kids. And it's something that I'll be able to pass on to them to kind of like, teach them. Teach them the right way, the signs that they need to look out to be successful and not be played in this business.
Whose idea was it for you in your match? Getting back to wrestling now. Your match in a cage with Val Venis for you to leap off the top of the cage, and how hard was that on your knees?
That was my idea. The thing is like I wanted to, I seen Jimmy Snuka do it, jump off the cage, and I always told myself if I ever got that opportunity, I was going to take it. But the rib was on me because I didn't know I was going to take it being 425.
Right.
And it was one of those things in Dallas, Texas, where it happened. We were going over the matches and everything, and it was funny because I think Shane McMahon was one of our guys, our agent that was going through the match with us. And I told him that I wanted to jump off the cage, you want to shock these people? Let a big 400-pound guy come off the cage and jump off. Do what? Let's just splash. Let me splash. And I looked at Val's face. Val's face is, you're going to splash me, So don't worry about that. I'll take care of you,
Right.
And, man, what happened when that time came, man, it was one of the biggest rush that I've ever had inside the ring, You got up there. I was nervous, kind of, scooting sideways to get to the middle of the ring. But once when you're up there and you had all those people screaming, and yelling, and I did it. I said, now I can be in one of the memories of like somebody who jumped out the cage like Jimmy Snooker did, you know. So, but when I landed, I was happy that was okay, you know. I hurt myself on that land, but
how's your knees?
Well, my knees. I hurt my knees during that jump.
Right.
I never had a knee problem, but not to this day, you know, it's kind of bothering me, and also my elbows, because I had to try to break the fall somehow.
Right. Why do you feel you became so injury prone in around 2001?
I guess the schedule, the type of matches I was having, the weight that I put on. I mean, I was tipping every bit about 450 at the time, and the schedule that was on, you know. And it's just one of those things. It's nothing that I plan to do. It's the way the business is, you know. Some nights you get lucky, some nights you don't. And I guess that being my size, you know, and trying to work like the way I do work is head shaker style and so forth. You know, my body was saying, hey, it's time to kind of slow down. You know?
Did you ever feel pressure from Vince for you to not take time off?
Well, yeah, you always get that from the office.
Right.
You know, especially when you're one of the main guys that's on top. You know, and you know, I felt that, but at the time, it's like I didn't give a damn. You know, to me, my body was more important than, you know, them making the cheese. And so, because I already felt and I already seen the signs that were about ready to happen to me anyways. So I wanted to beat them to the punch before they got me.
What are some of your early memories of wrestling for Gino Brito in Canada?
Oh, man. God bless his soul. I want to send a shout out to him and his whole family and everybody that was up there in Canada. They kind of, right there is where they had my first opportunity to work for a territory, a real territory. And being up there, and when you work for a real territory, you're actually booked every day, you know, and you kind of look at wrestling now, it's like a job. You know what I mean? It's not like when you was in the independent, when you just first starting off, you would work a couple times this month, a couple times next month, maybe off next month. But it was an experience for me to be up there in Montreal, Canada, because you had guys like Dino Bravo, Rick Martel, Abdullah the Butcher, the Great Samu, who's my cousin, the Road Warriors, some of the other guys. Forgive me if I don't say your name, I just can't, you know.
Right.
Dan Crawford and so Steve Strong. These guys here, a bunch of guys that kind of, I was 17, kind of took me up underneath their wing, and right there, being able to work every day, I start to kind of somewhat learn psychology. You know, kind of learn find myself in the ring. You know, they say for you to be good in the ring, you got to know who you are. You got to find yourself, be it whatever character you're trying to portray. Well, this is the time. You're not going to learn it overnight. You got to learn it by keep on wrestling every night and working every night. So Montreal, Canada is one of the important parts of my career where it was able for me to really learn about wrestling.
What are your thoughts on Adino Bravo?
I miss him, man. I'm sad about what had happened to him, but I think he was a guy that you can only say things about somebody and what they've done for you. And I just, again, like I said about Montreal, is for them to give this young 17-year-old kid an opportunity. They gave me a contract, you know, to be up there for 3 years and not never seeing me or ever, you know, watching what I can do. But just that opportunity that they gave me, you know, I'm gonna miss him. I miss Dino a lot.
Did any of the veterans ever test you in this territory at all?
No, you know, I again, you know, I guess when you're growing up in the business early and you just started, you kind of don't know when you're getting stiff, or sometimes for what reason you're getting stiff.
Right.
And I know now, you know, but back in the day, I'm kind of happy that guys like was it Irwin did that to me, you know, kind of stiffen up on me sometimes. Sometimes Hawk, you know, And anoa'i, they kind of were, but I didn't know that that's just the way they work, where they were stuck like that, you know. And you know, you learn once you start to kind of do it quite often, you know.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.